chemical bonding. What is chemical bond? Chemical bond is nothing but the force of attraction that binds the atoms in the molecule is called chemical bonding. For example, H2 molecule, hydrogen, H2 molecule. Hydrogen is a diatomic molecule. Hydrogen atoms combine to give hydrogen molecule. So there is a force of attraction that binds the atoms in the molecule. So the force of attraction that exists between the atoms in the molecule is called chemical bonding. Why do atoms combine? See, I want to explain answer for this question in two different ways. First way that already you studied in 9th and 10th class, but I want to explain the same basing on the energy grounds. See, we have one topic in plus one, and you have this topic in physics also, thermodynamics. See, according to thermodynamics, any system which is having less energy is more stable. Lesser the energy, greater the stability. See, what is a system? System is nothing but part of universe which is under observation. It is part of universe which is under observation. Which is under observation. See, for example, a beaker is there. In the beaker, water is there. Some liquid is there. Then it becomes a system. Water present in beaker constitute a system. Now, remaining part of the universe is called surroundings. So system plus surroundings is equal to universe. There is transfer of energy and mass and energy exchange take place between system and surroundings. See, for a chemist, system is nothing but reaction. In the reaction, energy may liberate. If reaction releases energy that is absorbed by surroundings. Suppose reaction system can absorb energy from the surroundings also. If reaction system absorbs energy from the surroundings, it is called endothermic reaction. If reaction system release energy to the surroundings, then it is called exothermic reaction. Clear? Any system which is having less energy is more stable. Lesser the energy, greater the stability. Next, any system moves from less stable state to more stable state. Any system moves from less stable state to more stable state. Flow of energy, flow of heat, because heat is also a form of energy. Flow of heat takes place from hot body to cold body. Flow of energy takes place from high energy state to low energy state, right? These are very important points you remember. I am going to remove this. Now, see, hydrogen atoms isolated, right? These atoms combine to give hydrogen molecule. So, our question is, why do atoms combine? Now, this is observed fact. Energy released during combination of hydrogen atoms to give hydrogen molecule is 104 kilocalorie per mole. So, whenever 1 mole of hydrogen gas is formed from its constituent atoms, the amount of energy liberated in this process is 104 kilocalorie per mole. Another important point you have to remember. This is also point in thermodynamics. Already I told you what is system. Anything under observation is called system. Whatever it may be. For example, if I am observing a classroom, then classroom will be system for me. For example, a scientist is observing a chemical reaction in the glass beaker. That reaction in the glass beaker becomes system for him. Anything under observation is called system and remaining part of the universe is called surroundings. So there is a continuous energy change takes place. You can say not energy change, you can say exchange of energy takes place between system and surroundings. So now see, every system is associated with different amount of energy. And this is called internal energy. So, for example, if you consider a cricket ball has its own energy. Cricket ball is a system and it has energy. Similarly, in the glass beaker, water is there and water has some energy that is called internal energy. For example, consider calcium carbonate CaCO3 and it has some energy. So every system is associated with a different amount of energy. It is called internal energy. In case of chemicals, every chemical substance associates with a different amount of energy called internal energy. Right. So atoms. So consider this is system. Now hydrogen atoms also possess energy. Energy possessed by hydrogen atoms is represented as EH. So what is the total energy of uncombined hydrogen atoms? Let us suppose that 2 into EH. I am changing this arrow mark as is equal to. And hydrogen molecules also possess energy. That is, let us suppose that EH2. And 2 into energy of isolated hydrogen atoms is equal to energy of hydrogen molecule plus 104 kilocalorie per mole. So, energy of uncombined hydrogen atoms, energy of hydrogen molecule, if you compare these two, which one has more energy? No doubt at all. Energy of hydrogen molecule plus 104 kilocalories both will equal to energy of uncombined hydrogen atoms, which means that energy of uncombined hydrogen atoms is greater than energy of hydrogen molecule by 104 kilocalories. Clear? So that means uncombined hydrogen atoms have more energy than combined hydrogen atoms, which means that energy of hydrogen molecule. So energy of uncombined hydrogen atoms is greater than energy of combined hydrogen atoms. Therefore, isolated hydrogen atoms are less stable than combined hydrogen atoms. So to get stability, hydrogen atoms combine to give hydrogen molecule. So I told you every system is associated with definite amount of energy called internal energy. Any system has more energy is least stable. Any system is having more energy. A system with more energy is least stable. So these are thermodynamic principle. Now, see, if you apply thermodynamic principle to combination of hydrogen atoms to form hydrogen molecule, whenever one mole hydrogen is formed from uncombined atoms, 104 kilocalories of energy is released. So, which means that energy of uncombined hydrogen atoms is greater than energy of combined hydrogen atoms. That is why hydrogen atoms are uncombined hydrogen atoms are less stable than combined hydrogen atoms. So that is why already I told you every system moves from less stable state to more stable state. Every system moves from high energy state to low energy state. Less stable state to more stable state. So that is why atoms are combining, because isolated atoms are associated with more amount of energy than combined hydrogen atoms or combined atoms. So that is why atoms combine to give molecule. Okay, is it clear? So in one sentence, uncombined atoms are having more energy. Atoms in the combined state possess less energy. Atoms in uncombined state possess more energy. Atoms in combined state possess less energy. That is why combined atoms are more stable. Uncombined atoms are less stable. So every system moves from less stable state to more stable state. That is why atoms are less stable. Isolated atoms are unstable. That is why isolated atoms combine to give molecule. Now see, it is in terms of electrons, electronic theory of valency. Electronic theory of valency. Second way of explaining why do atoms combine. electronic theory of valency. This is the theory proposed by Cosell and Louis. According to this theory, atoms of all the elements are unstable except atoms of 18th group or zero group are inert gases. Helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon. So atoms of these elements only stable. Atoms of other elements do not have stability. See, except helium, remaining elements, that is neon, argon, krypton, xenon, these are having the general valency shell electronic configuration ns2 np6. So that means 8 electrons are present in the valency shell. Valency shell or outermost orbit. Outermost orbit. Okay. So therefore, they proposed that any atom which is having 8 electrons in their outermost orbit are stable. See, atoms of other elements do not have 8 electrons in the valency shell, right? See, for example, if you take sodium, 2, 8, 1 is the configuration. Magnesium, 2, 8, 2 is the configuration. Aluminium, 2, 8, 3 configuration. For example, chlorine, 2, 8, 7. Right? So atoms of other elements do not have 8 electrons in their outermost orbit. Therefore, these are unstable. So, according to electronic theory of valency, atoms of other elements get stability by losing or by gaining or by mutual sharing of electrons with other atoms of elements to get 8 electrons in the valency shell. See, this is nucleus. Let us suppose that these are the shells around the nucleus. Now, this is last orbit. So, it is outermost orbit represented by N. It is also called ultimate shell. Ultimate shell. Valency of atom depends on number of electrons in the outermost orbit. Therefore, it is also called valency shell. And now, this is called N minus 1 shell. This is called penultimate shell. Penultimate shell. And this is N minus 2. And this is anti-penultimate shell. Clear? This you studied in periodic table and atomic structure also. So, atoms of other elements get stability by losing or by gaining of electrons or by mutual sharing of electrons with atoms of other elements. Right? Okay. Now, see for example, sodium 2, 8, 1. So, to get stability, it has to lose one electron. Then its configuration becomes 2, 8. Now 8 electrons in the present in the outermost orbit. For example, magnesium Z equal to 12, 2, 8, 2. Number of electrons present in the outermost orbit 2. Therefore unstable. Therefore, magnesium has to lose 2 electrons. So therefore it gets 2 units of positive charge. Z is 12. Configuration is 2, 8. Now, for example, oxygen Z is equal to 8. 2, 6 configuration. Only 6 electrons are present in the outermost orbit. Therefore, unstable. To keep 8 electrons in the outermost orbit, oxygen requires 2 electrons. By gaining 2 electrons, oxygen gets 2 units negative charge. Z is 8. Configuration now 2, 8. So, atoms try to get 8 electrons in their outermost orbit, try to keep 8 electrons in their outermost orbit by losing electrons or by gaining electrons. See one more example. Chlorine Z is 17, 2, 8, 7. Number of electrons present in the outermost orbit 7 only. So unstable. So gains 1 electron to give Cl minus. Z is 17. Electronic configuration is 2, 8, 8. So like this, Atoms try to keep 8 electrons in their outermost orbit either by losing electrons or by gaining electrons. Now, for example, carbon Z equal to 6, 2 comma 4. So only 4 electrons are present in the valency shell. Now see, it has two chances. It has to gain 4 electrons to form C4 minus. Now Z is 6, 2 comma 8, but it does not exist because if one electron is gained, energy is released. But whenever C minus wants to gain one electron, it requires energy. It is endothermic process. C2 minus, you will get C3 minus. Again, more energy is to be absorbed. And as absorption of energy increases, energy of the system increases. As energy of the system increases, stability of the system decreases. So that is why it is highly unstable, does not exist, does not form. Similarly, suppose Z is 6, 2 comma 4. Suppose if it loses one electron, then Z is a 6, 2 comma 3 configuration. Here energy is required. For first losing for first electron, for losing of first electron, I1 is required. Second electron, I2 is required. Third electron, I3 is required. Fourth electron, I4 is required. And moreover, I1 is less than I2 less than I3 less than I4. So it is a large amount of energy, very high. So therefore, again, this is not possible. So that is why carbon, to keep 8 electrons in the outermost orbit, it tries to share these electrons with other atoms. See, for example, it shares 4 electrons with 4 hydrogen atoms like this. See, 4 electrons, and it shares with 4 hydrogen atoms like this. Like this, carbon shares 4 electrons with 4 hydrogen atoms. See now, here two electrons are there, two electrons, two electrons, two electrons, totally carbon has 8 electrons now. And each hydrogen has 2 electrons. See, hydrogen atomic number is 1. So, 1 electron is present in its valency shell. It is also unstable. But if hydrogen has 2 electrons, then it possesses the electronic configuration of helium. Helium is stable, therefore, hydrogen also gets stability by sharing its electron with the carbon atom. So, to get stability, to get 8 electrons in their valency shell, atoms has two options. Atoms have two options. Number one, by losing or by gaining of electrons. Number one option. Second option, by equal sharing of electrons. Equal sharing of electrons. This is according to electronic theory of valency. Now, by losing or by gaining of electrons, the bond formed between atoms is called ionic bond. Ionic bond, or it is also called electrovalent bond. Electrovalent bond. Now, if two atoms share their valency electrons equally, then the bond formed between the two atoms is called covalent bond. Covalent bond. And see here, formation of ionic bond was explained by Cossel, whereas formation of covalent bond is explained by Lewis. Okay. Now, what are the important points in electronic theory of valency? Number one, atoms of all the elements are unstable except atoms of noble gases or inert gases, helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon and radon. Except helium, remaining elements, that is neon, argon, krypton, xenon, they have 8 electrons in their outermost orbit. So therefore, atoms which are having 8 electrons in their outermost orbit are said to be stable. This is called octet's rule. This is called octet's rule. Any atom having octet configuration, any atom having 8 electrons in its outermost orbit is said to be stable. Next, atoms of other elements do not have 8 electrons in the valency shell. So therefore, atoms of other elements are unstable. Next, atoms of other elements try to keep 8 electrons in their outermost orbit to get stability. So, atoms keep 8 electrons in their outermost orbit in two ways. Number one, by losing or by gaining of electrons. Number two, by equal sharing of electrons. By losing or by gaining of electrons, the bond formed between two atoms is called ionic bond, also called electrovalent bond, and formation of Ionic bond is explained by Coulson. Next, if two atoms get stability, get 8 electrons in their outermost orbit, get octet by equal sharing of electrons, then a covalent bond is formed between two atoms, and formation of covalent bond is explained by Lewis. So these are the important points in electronic theory of valency. Almost all state board and CBSE, ICSE students studied this in 10th class or 9th class, right? These are things already known to you. Now, let us see the formation of ionic bond. Ionic bond formation explained by Coulson. So I am taking one example. It is most familiar example. Sodium chloride. Sodium is Na, chlorine Cl. So this is atom of sodium element. This is atom of chlorine element, and because of combination we are getting NaCl, right? Okay. See here, we are not going to study how NaCl is formed from sodium and chlorine. We are going to study the nature of bonding between sodium and chlorine. Understood this fact? See, we are not studying here how NaCl is formed from sodium and chlorine. Actually, sodium and chlorine, chlorine molecular state, sodium metal atomic state, right? Now we are not concerned in the formation of NaCl. Okay, how is it prepared from sodium and chlorine? Now we are studying the nature of bond between sodium and chlorine. In sodium chloride, both the atoms are bonded together. Both sodium atom and chlorine atoms are bound together in the molecule. What is the driving force which binds sodium and chlorine atom in sodium chloride? That we are going to study, right? So that means indirectly we are going to study the force of attraction, force of attraction, force of attraction that exists between sodium and chlorine. Clear? Right. So this is explained by Coulson, remember? Sodium Z equal to 11. So 2 comma 8 comma 1 configuration, or you can write 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s1. See here, only one electron is present in the outermost orbit, valency shell, right? So, because of having only one electron in the outermost orbit, sodium is unstable. Therefore, to get stability, sodium atom loses one electron. So, when sodium loses one electron, then sodium gets 1 unit positive charge because it lost one electron, negatively charged particle. Z is 11, there is no change in the atomic number. Now, number of electrons became 10, 2, comma 8 is the configuration. So now 8 electrons are present in the outermost orbit. Now see, chlorine, Z is 17, 2, comma 8, comma 7, 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p5. This is third orbit. These are the electrons present in the second orbit. These are the electrons present in the first orbit. So this is outermost orbit. 7 electrons are present in the outermost orbit. So therefore unstable. So that is why it takes electron from sodium atom and gains 1 electron. Okay. And chlorine gets 1 unit negative charge because of acceptance of electron from sodium. Z is 70, there is no change. Now 2, comma 8, comma 8. So configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6. Now it gets argon configuration. 8 electrons are present in the outermost orbit. Here Na plus ion, 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 8 electrons are present in the outermost orbit and gets neon configuration, nearest stable inert gas configuration. Now, see here Na plus ion, Cl minus ion. Now, here what happened? Sodium atom, 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s1, chlorine, nucleus, first shell, second shell, third shell, first shell 2 electrons, second shell 8 electrons, third shell 7 electrons. Now here only 1 electron is present in the outermost orbit, but here 7 electrons are present in the outermost orbit. Therefore, 1 electron is transferred from sodium atom to chlorine atom. So net is 1 electron transferred from sodium to chlorine, right? So due to this, sodium acquires 1 unit positive charge and chlorine acquires 1 unit negative charge. Na plus ion, Cl minus ion, oppositely charged ions. There exists a strong electrostatic force of attraction. Due to that strong electrostatic force of attraction, ionic bond is formed between sodium and chlorine. So this is about the formation of ionic bond. The strong electrostatic force of attraction. The strong electrostatic force of attraction or Coulombic force of attraction that exists between two oppositely charged ions. Two oppositely charged ions is called ionic bond or electrovalent bond. So the strong electrostatic force of attraction or Coulombic force of attraction that exists between two oppositely charged ions is called ionic bond or electrovalent bond. Now, in formation of NaCl, sodium lost one electron. Therefore, electrovalency is 1. Remember. See, it is not oxidation state. See, in NaCl, Na plus ion, Cl minus. So now this plus 1 is oxidation state of sodium. And here minus 1 is oxidation state of chlorine. But here electrovalency, it is different from oxidation state. What is electrovalency? Number of electrons lost or gained in formation of ionic bond or ionic compound is called electrovalency. So, electrovalency has no positive or negative values. It is positive only, no negative values. It is a number. Number of electrons lost by sodium is 1. Therefore, electrovalency of sodium is 1. Similarly, in formation of NaCl, chlorine gained 1 electron from sodium, right? Therefore, electrovalency of chlorine is also 1. Clear? Electrovalency is nothing but the number of electrons lost or gained by an atom during the formation of ionic bond or in the formation of ionic compound. Clear? Right. Now, for example, MgO, magnesium, Z equal to 12, 2 comma 8 comma 2. So, 2 electrons are present in the outermost orbit, therefore unstable. Oxygen, Z equal to 8, 2 comma 6 electrons are present in the outermost orbit. So, magnesium has to lose 2 electrons and oxygen should gain 2 electrons to get stability. Right? Now, see, magnesium has 2 electrons in the outermost orbit. Oxygen has 6 electrons in the outermost orbit. So, magnesium loses 2 electrons and oxygen gains 2 electrons. See, Mg 2 comma 8 comma 2 gives rise to Mg2 plus 2 electrons. Configuration now 2 comma 8. Oxygen gains 2 electrons. O2 minus. Oxygen Z is 2 comma 6, here 2 comma 8. Now Mg2 plus O2 minus gives rise to MgO. So in formation of MgO, electrovalency of magnesium is 2 and electrovalency of oxygen is 2. Clear? MgCl2, magnesium 2 comma 8 comma 2, chlorine 2 comma 8 comma 7. This is Z equal to 17, here Z equal to 12. 2 electrons are present in the outermost orbit, so therefore it has to lose 2 electrons. And chlorine 7 electrons are there, so only 1 electron is required. But magnesium has to lose 2 electrons, so that is why magnesium 2 electrons, chlorine 7 electrons. Next, another chlorine. This chlorine also require 1 more electron to get stability. So magnesium loses 2 electrons and those 2 electrons are gained by 2 chlorine atoms. Thereby magnesium forms Mg2 plus and 2 chlorine atoms form Cl minus ions. So therefore each chlorine gets 1 unit negative charge, 2 chloride ions, Mg2 plus. Therefore, we'll get MgCl2. So this is about the formation of magnesium chloride.